Sony has officially wrapped up its latest State of Play presentation, and if you did not stay awake to watch more than an hour of announcements, trailers, and surprises, this video is for you. From Marvel is Wolverine and God of War, Laufey to the return of several legendary franchises, State of Play 2026 delivered one of the most packed showcases we have seen in recent years. So which games stole the spotlight? Which reveals surprised the community the most? And which projects have the potential to become future blockbusters? Let us break down everything that happened. The showcase opened with a much deeper look at Marvel is Wolverine from Insomniac Games. As one of the most anticipated PlayStation exclusives currently in development, the game continues to generate enormous excitement despite Sony revealing very little about its overall story. What we did see, however, confirms that Wolverine will offer a much darker and more brutal experience than the Marvel's Spider-Man series. The gameplay appears to focus heavily on aggressive close-range combat, fast reactions, and the raw violence that defines Logan as a character. One of the biggest surprises was the appearance of Jean Grey. For longtime Marvel fans, Jean is much more than another X-Men character. She is one of the few people who truly understands the man behind Wolverine's savage exterior. If Insomniac decides to explore the complicated relationship between Logan and Jean Grey, the story could become far more emotional and character-driven than many players expect. Personally, this remains one of my most anticipated PlayStation titles. Based on Insomniac's track record, there is every reason to believe the studio can deliver another major success. Next up was Until Dawn 2, the return of one of the most recognizable interactive horror franchises in gaming. Developed by Supermassive Games, the sequel appears to follow a group of friends who find themselves trapped on a mysterious island before a masked killer begins hunting them down. The overall atmosphere immediately brings to mind classic slasher films, such as Friday the 13th. The biggest appeal remains the same as the original game: player choice. Every decision has consequences, and even a single mistake could dramatically alter the outcome of the story. Combined with upgraded visuals, improved animations, and more advanced character interactions, Until Dawn 2 looks ready to deliver another intense horror experience when it launches in 2027. One of the most unique reveals of the entire showcase was KEMURI. Developed by Unseen, the game blends Japanese folklore, supernatural creatures, anime-inspired action, and a stylish urban setting into something that feels genuinely different. Players take control of a team of yokai hunters as they battle dangerous supernatural threats. The cooperative gameplay appears to place a strong emphasis on teamwork, with each character bringing unique abilities and combat options. Visually, KEMURI stands out immediately. Its modern art style, energetic presentation, and fast-paced action have already drawn comparisons to popular anime such as Chainsaw Man. Whether the gameplay can match the visual style remains to be seen, but it is definitely one of the most intriguing new IPs announced during the event. Crystal Dynamics officially revealed Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis. The trailer offered players a first glimpse at Lara Croft's next major adventure, combining exploration, ancient mysteries, and large-scale action sequences. While the franchise has always been built around adventure and discovery, this new entry appears to place even greater emphasis on historical myths and lost civilizations. According to the announcement, the game is scheduled to launch on February 12, 2027. For longtime Tomb Raider fans, this could represent an exciting new chapter for Lara Croft while still preserving the core identity that made the franchise so successful. Ubisoft also announced Rayman Legends Retold. Rather than a simple remaster, this project aims to modernize one of the most beloved platformers ever created. The game will feature improved visuals, updated mechanics, and additional content designed to make the experience feel fresh for both returning players and newcomers. For many gamers, Rayman Legends remains one of the greatest platformers ever made, so seeing Ubisoft revisit the franchise is certainly welcome news. Capcom returned with another look at ONIMUSHA: Way of the Sword. Although the trailer did not reveal major story details, it showcased additional combat sequences and introduced more supernatural enemies inspired by Japanese mythology. One notable appearance was Shuten Doji, one of the most famous Oni in Japanese folklore. His inclusion suggests that Capcom continues to draw heavily from historical legends and traditional mythology when building the game's world. Considering Capcom's incredible run of success in recent years, expectations for ONIMUSHA are becoming increasingly high. If the studio can maintain the quality seen in its recent releases, this could become one of the biggest action games of 2026. Another title that managed to attract a great deal of attention during this State of Play presentation was Control Resonant. Although the game only appeared briefly, the trailer still revealed several intriguing details about the world players will be exploring. The mysterious atmosphere that made the Control universe so compelling is clearly still present, but this time the scale appears significantly larger. The footage showcased new locations, more supernatural phenomena, and a variety of unexplained mysteries that seem central to the experience. According to the information revealed during the event, Control Resonant is scheduled to launch on September 24, 2026. Personally, I think this has the potential to become one of the most exciting projects for fans of science fiction and supernatural storytelling. If Remedy can maintain the same level of world-building and narrative quality that made Control so memorable, this could easily become one of the standout releases of 2026. Even though I am not normally a huge fan of wuxia-inspired action games, Phantom Blade Zero continues to impress every time it appears. The new footage once again highlighted the game's stunning visuals, fluid combat system, and cinematic presentation. What stands out most is how fast and impactful every attack feels. The game appears to combine stylish action mechanics with a level of visual polish rarely seen in the genre. At this point, Phantom Blade Zero is easily one of my most anticipated action titles. Konami also revealed Silent Hill: Towerfall. Scheduled to launch on September 24, 2026, the game continues the franchise's tradition of psychological horror, disturbing imagery, and deeply unsettling environments. Based on the trailer, Towerfall appears to focus heavily on atmosphere rather than cheap jump scares. That has always been one of Silent Hill's greatest strengths, and it looks like the developers understand exactly what fans want from the franchise. If there was one horror game at State of Play that left a lasting impression, it would certainly be near the top of the list. From the very first moments of the trailer, the game delivered an unsettling atmosphere in exactly the way a great horror title should. The creature designs, visual effects, and environmental audio all work together to create a constant sense of tension and unease. Unlike many horror games that rely heavily on sudden jump scares, it appears to focus on building a persistent feeling of dread throughout the entire experience. The game is currently scheduled for release in 2027. What impressed me most was the incredible visual quality shown in the trailer. If the development team can successfully translate that level of detail and atmosphere into the final product, it could become one of the most talked about horror games of the coming years. For horror fans looking for something fresh and genuinely disturbing, this is definitely a title worth keeping an eye on. Many viewers initially hoped Capcom was about to announce Dino Crisis. Instead, we got The Lost Wild. The game places players in a dangerous prehistoric environment filled with dinosaurs and other ancient creatures. While information remains limited, the survival-focused gameplay and tense encounters immediately captured attention. If the developers can execute the concept properly, The Lost Wild could become one of the more interesting survival games currently in development. After a lengthy early access period on Steam, Moon Studios finally confirmed that No Rest for the Wicked version 1.0 will arrive on PlayStation 5 this October. Created by the studio behind Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, this project takes a very different direction. Instead of a platformer, players are getting a dark fantasy action RPG with challenging combat, deep progression systems, and a beautifully handcrafted world. Even in early access, the game has received strong praise for its combat, exploration, and visual design. This is definitely a title worth watching. One of the biggest nostalgia moments came with the announcement of Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remaster. Originally released in 2001, Dynasty Warriors 3 helped define the Musou genre and became a childhood classic for countless players across Asia. The remastered version will modernize the visuals while preserving the large-scale battlefield action that made the original so memorable. For veteran fans, this announcement feels like a trip back to an entirely different era of gaming. Without question, the biggest reveal of the event was God of War: Laufey. Developed by Santa Monica Studio, the game places Faye, the wife of Kratos and mother of Atreus, at the center of the story. More than 20 minutes of gameplay showcased a completely new adventure that explores what happens beyond death and introduces powerful gods from entirely different mythologies. The combat system appears faster and more agile than Kratos' traditional fighting style, while the story seems focused on expanding parts of the God of War universe that players have never seen before. Personally, I think this is the most ambitious direction Santa Monica could have chosen. Instead of simply continuing Kratos' story, the studio is exploring one of the most mysterious characters in the entire franchise. If executed correctly, God of War, Laufey could completely reshape the future of the series. Overall, State of Play 2026 delivered a surprisingly strong lineup. Marvel's Wolverine continues to look promising, Phantom Blade Zero remains incredibly impressive, and God of War, Laufey completely stole the show. More importantly, Sony finally provided a clearer picture of what the next few years of PlayStation gaming could look like. Now the question is simple. Which game impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this recap, do not forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more gaming news and analysis. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.